Sky, and then we'll use the hands up system when you're ready, Ian.
Yeah, can do. We'll do. Chris, good evening.
Evening, Ian.
You hear me okay? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, good.
Look, it's always fine margins in these things. I wonder how you reflect on that match.
Yeah, I mean, obviously from the goals that we've conceded, attitude was excellent again. You know, we're right up against it. You know, in terms of what we've got available and the opposition that we're playing. You know, star-studded and players left, right, and centre. And you know, I think a lot gets said about signings in this division, but I think sometimes when you look at like a couple of the best players, Reece James and Mason Mount, sort of attention to detail that these clubs have put into their academies and win the Youth Cup, every other year and produce players left, right, and centre. Tammy Abraham, Tamore, all those, Billy Gilmore, all those type of players added to the players that you're up against. It's always going to be a tough ask. I think from the first goal, I think they'll look at it from their point of view, say it's a fabulous goal. Great ball from Chilwell, who's not been getting again, which is sort of sums it up as well, doesn't it? What we're up against. Werner, Mason Mount, fabulous finish, great run, fabulous finish. And the second one, self-inflicted from our point of view. You leave a back pass short in any division, it's going to get punished. It's certainly going to get punished when you've got a player the likes of Werner accepting it gratefully and getting the reward of a penalty.
So you chatting with Kevin Friend at the end of the match. I mean, what were you saying with him? Any complaints at all?
No, I think they've got a really difficult job, referees at the moment, because they're under incredible amount of scrutiny and decisions that are getting made, and VAR and all that stuff and whatever. And I'm not an old school manager. I don't think I've got old school values, but I like the game played in a certain way, and I think it's really difficult for the referees to put their stamp on it or personality on it and let them make decisions at the moment. They come through the process and they deserve the right to stamp their opinion and personality and ability onto a game. And I don't think anybody knows exactly where they are at the moment. So yeah, no issues with myself and Kevin. From the penalty point of view, I winced when the back pass went short, and then I think that it looked as if the inevitable would happen when he went down in the box, and obviously we got punished from a slight moment, and the timing of it wasn't great from our point of view after having just scored.
Listen, how concerned were you about Aaron Ramsdale? Did you ever consider a concussion substitution?
No, we would have done it. We would have done it if the doctor had flagged it up. So they're obviously on the comms. So I wouldn't have took a chance. The boys' health and future and well-being is far more important than anything else. So these are the reasons that the decision to have concussion subs was made. So I agree. And if that was the case, then we would have made that decision. But I'm no medical man, and the decision was made by the doctor. It was okay, and he was clear to carry on.
Moving forwards, there's still lots of matches to play, and while I could understand perhaps if it might knock confidence just slightly after the wins that you've had against Manchester United and against West Brom. I mean, what positives do you take from this moving forwards?
Well, the run that we've had, arguably the three form teams in the division: Manchester United, Man City, and Chelsea. We've been very, very competitive in all three games, and Tottenham chucked in that one as well. That we're on a decent run as well. So, it's unforgiving the division, Ian, and I'm take away nothing away from the fixtures that we're coming up, but I think we'll be glad to see the likes of Chelsea and and wish them all the best for the rest of the season, and get to grips with our fixture list now on in. And there's a feeling that the players can win games of football in this division in terms of their attitude towards it. They give themselves an opportunity of getting something from a game, which I admire. Now we need to show a little bit more quality, a little bit more composure in big moments, and a little bit more belief that they are good players, to show that, allied to the undoubted attitude that they've got, Ian. For them to go not toe to toe. I'm not saying that we've gone toe to toe with a huge football club, but we've been really competitive tonight. I keep saying, I don't want congratulations and credit for that, but there should be some sort of recognition of where we're at and what we're up against in this division. And now we have to concentrate on the next 15 games, and I do believe we can win games of football. What I've seen, especially not just over the whole season, but especially over the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks.
Chris, thank you. Wish you well.
Take care, Ian. Thanks again.
Take care,
mate.
Nate.
Sorry, Chris, I didn't hear that then. Obviously, was it one of mixed fortunes today? Because performance-wise, I thought you were really at it in terms of being competitive and the way you played. But it's that feeling again of gifting that second goal.
Yeah, that's a real disappointing feeling because you just can't afford to make those mistakes. I keep saying about our close to our perfection, maybe not other teams' perfection, that we have to be to give ourselves any chance. And it's a real disappointing goal, especially when we get ourselves back on level terms, and we just feel, momentum, wouldn't have done any harm for us to get back on level terms, and make it a really interesting last 20-25 minutes. But to give away the goal in the timing of it that we did is knocked them back, but not for long. They came back again, and just critical that we just didn't find that last little bit, a little bit of composure, a little bit of quality cross to get something from the game. But thought, they pressed really well. So, I thought that we changed it around. I thought Ollie Mack and Berkey were good first half. The energy to press them. I thought when we did get after them, we made it uncomfortable for them. It wasn't one-way traffic, in my opinion. I don't think Aaron had an incredible amount to do. I'm not saying their goalkeeper was making save after save, but he wouldn't have expected to do that in terms of the quality of the team that we were playing. But I felt comfortable, and I felt we were really in the game, even when we went 1-0 down. And even when it was 2-1 down, I felt there was something in the game for us. So I think that's the overriding disappointment from my point of view.
Think about the timing of that equaliser, just 9 minutes into the second half. It was really game on then, because like you say, you weren't getting cut apart. Ramsdale hadn't had too much to do, and it was really game on. So that the timing of that second goal sort of really knocks your duck off a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a dagger, but they're big boys, and they came back. It was just that last little sort of 10 and 15 minutes where it was sort of time to take a chance, time to open up and to see if we can get something from the game. I think timing is always key in this now. If you can't, if people think that we can go and play X, Y, Z formation against these teams, they're just going to absolutely pick you off and punish you. So it is about, a bit of patience and staying in the game and then picking your moments to go for it. And I thought we did. We sort of the last 10 or 15 minutes, we took chances. They kept the ball from us when they had to. It's just that we naively gave it them, and we naively made some not great decisions that didn't allow us to exert a little bit more pressure, put them on the back foot a little bit more, and just give us an opportunity of scoring a goal that would get us back on level terms.
That injury situation doesn't seem to be getting any better, Chris. Are you hopeful of any bodies are back for the weekend?
I think Ender will be back for Wednesday night. I believe he will be. speaking to the medicals. George will be touch and go for the weekend. I'm not. We're not too confident they'll be ready for Wednesday, and obviously the big actors that we're missing. They're nowhere near at the moment for us.
Just last one from me, Chris. Only 5 on the bench. You had put some kids on recently. Was this one of them games where there was probably no point in them being on that bench tonight?
No, I made the decision as manager of the football club to pick that and make that decision that I felt was right for the players that we had and the kids as well.
Cheers, Chris. Take care. Thank you very much.
Hello there. Yeah, you must. I know you said you don't want any sort of pats on the back, or you want points, but you must be able to sort of tell the players they can take some heart from the fact that you're coming away from games against Chelsea, against Man City, almost disappointed not to come away with something when you put it into context.
Definitely, yeah, that's exactly what I've said, James, to him. I am disappointed with the goals, and I'm not telling them how brilliant they've been today, but I will tell them what I think about a general honest performance, which I thought it was. I thought it had bags of honesty in it, and bags of enthusiasm, and I thought the setup of the team was good. We pressed, we've tried to force them one way. We limited really good players to next to nothing first half. I can't really remember anything that of note that you really felt you were on the back foot and a goal was coming. So out of possession was good. Created a couple of little bits. Would have liked us to have been a little bit better in possession. But the manner of the goal, as I said, I think from Chelsea's point of view, they're thinking that's a brilliant goal. And I think if we'd have scored that, we'd have done the same. Brilliant ball by Chilwell to Werner, run off the back, and then a pull back to Mason Mount, and he's got next to nothing to aim it in, and he's aimed it, and he's got his reward. But the second goal, obviously, is a desperately poor one from us.
It is almost like another Manchester City sort of scenario, though, isn't it? Where you've said that these results, I know they aren't going to be the ones that necessarily decide a great deal, but you can take something away from it with you.
Yeah, we've got to take something, anything from us playing the likes of Chelsea. And as I said before, it has felt for quite a while, and maybe you sort of underestimate the feeling last year. But when I look back, it's we had to produce cup type football last year. We had to be incredibly good to get anything out of any sort of game, and even then, we never comfortably won any game of football really. But our attitude gave us an opportunity of winning games or getting something from games, and it is doing now. And I generally think, and it doesn't give us any points, but I generally think that the players in the opposition change room are thinking that was quite tough, and possibly tough as they've had over the last sort of 3 or 4 games. And that's we have to make it that way. We have to try and bring, one club who's in one position, as you know where they are, another club that's in another position, and we've got to try, and I've got to try, and the players have got to try and make that as a closer gap as possible. And I think we are. I think the last 3 teams that we played, 3 teams out of 4, Man United, Man City, and Chelsea. They're just powerhouse football clubs. They're just incredibly powerful, top European football clubs. Historically, academy, quality of players, and myself and the players are just, what we're trying to do is trying to make this competitive. So picking out the little bit of criticism of the last bit, even though possibly they're pressing better than any team in the division are at the moment. Picking out the 2 goals, the pieces from our point of view is I'll do it, but I am human as well, and I do feel for the players because they are giving absolutely everything, and there's obviously big challenges in front of us, James. But I've got to say, glad to see the back of Chelsea. That won't be any change in our attitude to any other club. Not all of a sudden we'll just think, oh, here we go now. We've got X, Y, and Z in the next games, But the obvious and the realistic one is that we're not up against the likes of Chelsea. It doesn't make it any easier, but we have to take confidence of how we've gone about in the last 3 games.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. See you later. Cheers.